This man would never know what it feel like to be somebody's father.
And the big question is, have Father Time defeated Deontay Wilder or Deontay Wilder defeated himself? They say the best punches are the ones that you don't see coming. So are we gonna see Deontay Wilder again? I mean, I was awake until 3 in the night to see that fight. And I mean, it was one of the most boring boxing matches I've ever seen. Especially, you know, the one before was Dubois versus Sergovic. That was an amazing fight, really reminiscing of the Rocky Balboa style. I mean, the guys, just both of them were very cautious pretty much every round. Number 1, 2, 3, they were afraid to throw the right hand. I mean, they were afraid to throw the right hand almost. I mean, Zhilei Zhang got more in control, you know, he took the center of the ring. Deontay Wilder was circling around him, but I mean, he just wasn't there. He couldn't connect with the right hand. Deontay Wilder simply couldn't load the gun. And then at the 5th round, something happened. Like, we saw Deontay Wilder starting connecting again. We saw that he started to throw some good right hands, some good right ones, guys. But, you know, when you see this at the 5th round, he got hit. You know, he was throwing the right hand, he got hit by the right hand of Zhilei Zhang. Okay, he stumbled, he didn't expect it. Zhilei Zhang is a southpaw. They give problem because you don't expect certain kind of punches coming. And then he looks at the referee. Just look at the scene. He looks at the referee, not at Zhilei Zhang. He was just completely in another world. And then bang, down he goes. Down he goes. They say the best punches are the ones that you don't see coming. You know, if you see the punch of Zhang, he didn't put a lot of strength in it. You know, of course he's a strong man, but you know, it was because Deontay Wilder just didn't see it coming. His body, his subconscious mind was not prepared for that punch. And down he went. So, I mean, that is that it for Deontay Wilder. I mean, according to him, yes, that is it. I mean, he got 4 losses in his last 5 fights. I mean, 2 with Tyson Fury, but they were on a completely different level. We saw Deontay Wilder giving his heart and soul with Fury in all the 3 matches, but especially the last one when he was stopped by the TKO by the referee. And, you know, Deontay Wilder, he looked like he was gonna go knockout every second. He held on until the 11th round, and I mean, he was still standing. I mean, this man had really the heart of a lion. But I mean, with Parker, we saw another Deontay Wilder, a completely different Deontay Wilder. I mean, he was just not able to connect with himself in the fight. I mean, he was completely he was unable to connect his right hand. And then, I mean, he said, you know, after he lost, you know, with Parker, he said, okay, guys, I mean, that's it. I mean, I won my redemption with Zhilei Zhang, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to retire. And it didn't work. It didn't work. I mean, up until 3 in the night, I was up until 3 in the night to see the match. Very boring match. I mean, Deontay Wilder, yes, he started to connect a little bit in the 5th round, but it simply wasn't enough. I mean, a heavyweight boxing champion, you cannot do this mistake. I mean, you cannot just start looking at the referee like it's just a sign that your mind isn't there anymore. And, you know, now we can go, okay, Deontay Wilder isn't there. He's probably going to retire. You know, I'm sad to see him go because, I mean, he was the most powerful puncher in heavyweight history. End of the story. And, I mean, now the big question is why he wasn't there. I mean, people say it was the age because, you know, Deontay Wilder is 39 this year, he's going to retire. But yeah, I mean, Zhilei Zhang was 41 and he beat Deontay Wilder. Knocked down Parker 2 times and Parker is 32 this year, Joseph Parker. So, I mean, I think age, of course, plays a certain factor, but more in the mind of Deontay Wilder. I mean, he mentioned various times that, you know, he went to South America to try ayahuasca, this spiritual experience, you know, this enlightenment, you know, with substances that made him more peaceful. And maybe that, you know, maybe that's a combination of factor. And at the end, this ayahuasca and maybe other things going on in his life, the fact that he now wants to spend more time with his family, made his killer instinct go away. And as I said before, I mean, he told everybody that, you know, he had come back, you know, against Zhilei Zhang, that he wanted to knock out Zhilei Zhang. But this is something that once you lose, I don't think you ever retrieve. And I said that in my previous video, and I thought I'm proved right. the question, is he going to box again? That is up to him. There is a fight scheduled for him in the US with another prospect on 3 of August that is probably hardly going to take. And another thing I wanted to, and another thing that, we missed, we boxing fans really are absolutely disappointed about how the promoters have handled these things. It's his fight with Anthony Joshua, guys. I mean, this is a fight that, could have done for, we could have seen Deontay Wilder fighting Anthony Joshua for almost 10 years. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen because promoter negotiation, because of money fee. They always say we do the fight for the fans. But that's not true. I mean, now Saudi Arabia does the fight for the fans, not the promoters. Absolutely not the promoters. I mean, if you look here at Anthony Joshua, it's almost 10 years that we could have had that fight. And Tony Bellew said it very, very right in his tweet. So if you look at Anthony Joshua, the box rec, we go in 2016 when he beat Charles Martin. He won the IBF heavyweight title. We're speaking about 2016, okay? Then we go all the way with the matches until 2021, until the first match with Alexander Usyk when he lost the belt. Yeah, there were 6 months, against Andy Ruiz when he didn't have them, that he had to do the rematch. But I mean, still, we're speaking about 5 years, guys, 4 years and a half, 5 years where Anthony Joshua had the belt. And now let's go to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder won his WBC against Tavern in 2015. We're speaking 2015, 9 years ago, guy. And then, he started the trilogy with Tyson Fury, 2020. That's 2020 when he lost with Tyson Fury. So we had 5 years, pretty much, maybe 4, because Anthony Joshua was 2016. We had 4 years where these two guys overlapped. 4 years in a fighting career. It's a lot. It's truly a lot. And yet, this fight simply couldn't be made because he wanted too much money, because they didn't know, they didn't agree on the location and whatever. And ultimately, it's something that could have been so great. So great to see these two giants heavyweight facing each other. This is probably the second most wanted fight in boxing. And the first, it's of course Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. That still hasn't happened. So, we see Deontay Wilder go, we see Deontay Wilder getting old, retire. We could have had an undisputed title for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, and it didn't happen. I mean, this is a brief parenthesis, but then, coming back also, let's look at the Deontay Wilder. Let's hear at his word when he knocked out Robert Linius.
People always go about worrying about records and all this, he lost, or he's a bum and all that. Well, you get your bum ass in there then. Yeah, it's a great knockout. It's devastating, making history and stuff like that, but how much that man gonna suffer? And we seeing what happened. Look at Cologne. It's Pritchard Cologne.
Yep.
Correct. This man ain't have no kids. They don't understand, man. Y'all don't fucking understand what we go through, man. And I don't even know him like that. But I always be an advocate for us because
Take your time.
This man would never know what it feel like to be somebody's father. And that's some of the precious thing in the world, to be somebody's father.
So, they were very heartfelt words. They were nice words, and I totally resonate and agree with them. But, Deontay Wilder has been, 15, 16 years in the sport. He never said them. He was always about going there, the guy who wants a body on his record, and whatever, just throwing the right hand, knocking down people unconscious. But then, something happened. Especially, in his first and second loss with Tyson Fury. His ego really got blown out. He say, okay, I'm not invincible. My right hand maybe is not enough. I can suffer a knockout. I can also suffer a lot. So, he started to be really probably empathetic with these people. Maybe that also led to his spiritual journey with ayahuasca and other things that, made him more spiritually awake. But maybe with this awakeness, with this realization that he's also immortal, that he also can go knockout, that he can get hurt, also came a lot of empathy and a lot of peace, a lot of awakeness that made that power, that right hand, that the animal that is Deontay Wilder go away. Maybe it's just a transition that it needed to happen in Deontay Wilder's life, and he made simply the new Deontay Wilder. is simply incompatible, with this boxing style. Because let's tell us the truth. I mean, Deontay Wilder is not the most skilled boxer. I mean, probably he's the worst heavyweight champion, ranked in terms of skill. And, lots of people say, yeah, but, he wasn't a boxer, he wasn't very skilled, but he didn't need it. Deontay Wilder has 43 wins and 42 came by knockout. The only time he didn't do a knockout was with Stavern in 2015 when he won the world title. So, I mean, it's something also, it's evolution. I mean, it's natural selection. If you have that right hand, that powerful right hand that knocks out everybody, the most powerful right hand in history, then, you don't get the pressure to develop your boxing skill because your right hand, it's enough. And will always be enough, you think. And then, I mean, he shows Tyson Fury when he got knocked out in the first match that, sometimes it's not enough. But that time it was too late. But, in the 40 fight that he had before, he didn't need it. I mean, he didn't need to develop his boxing skill, and he played by the rule. So by the rules, he was one of the strongest boxer that the earth has ever known. I mean, just 42 knockouts in 43 wins. Guys, it's something I commend Deontay Wilder for that. I mean, he gave us some amazing fight. I mean, when he knocked out Brazil in the first round, the knockout with Tyson Fury, when he knocked out Robert Elenius, I mean, the knockout of Luis Ortiz. I mean, they were amazing fights. I mean, he was kind of a second Mike Tyson, in a sense. The thing is that, one thing I didn't like, of course, in the fight, especially in the first loss against Tyson Fury in the second match, when he lost, I mean, Tyson Fury just broke all the rules. As usually does, he gave away his game plan. He say, I'm gonna come to it like a bulldozer. I'm gonna hit him and I'm going to destroy. I say, so you're gonna come like a bulldozer against the stronger right hand in the world? He did it and it worked. He told us, when you bully the bully, then he doesn't know what to do. I mean, he showed other people a road to beat Deontay Wilder, and that's also what Parker and Zheng did. He showed Deontay Wilder weakness, that, he has to stay in the center of the ring, he has to be the dominant man, otherwise he doesn't know what to do. That's also why, the other losses came. But, I mean, he started to accuse, he sacked his trainer, his previous trainer, because he said that, he spiked the water, he put something in the water and he was dizzy. He blamed his costume. The entrance costume, I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean, I heard that he blamed that he was heavy. He blamed Tyson Fury for his floppy gloves or whatever. You are a children. I mean, that's the behavior of a children that has lost a match. He's not an adult. He's not a father of a family that does that. Just you lose, you take responsibility. And then he got beat again in the third fight, and maybe he was much more quiet. But his ego said, that's enough. I'm not the top. Tyson Fury is better than me. With the right hand, I cannot defeat anybody. What can I do? And that's why he went to the spiritual crisis. But I really hated this behavior from Deontay Wilder. And then, I mean, there are a lot of rumors now on the internet that, Malik Scott, the trainer that he had from the third match with Tyson Fury, was also the cause of Deontay Wilder deteriorating over time. Deontay Wilder is almost 40, it's old enough. But I mean, I assume Malik Scott also played a role in that. I mean, we saw Deontay Wilder in the last 4 matches where Malik Scott was the trainer. He only won one with Robert Elenius by knockout at the first time. And Robert Elenius is not, he's a strong heavyweight, he's not one of the top. So people say, with Malik Scott, Deontay Wilder started to be completely different. I mean, he couldn't throw the right hand, he couldn't connect. And I mean, absolutely, sometimes people need a new change, and maybe Malik Scott is partially to blame, but also Deontay Wilder, the circumstances, maybe it was something bigger than himself, 2 losses in a row with Tyson Fury, to the spiritual experience with ayahuasca. We don't know how his life is going. Maybe there is also something there. There is a transformation. Yeah, but I mean, but Malik Scott has to look himself in the mirror and say, have I done my best or could have been different? Maybe Deontay Wilder with another trainer would have connected that right hand, would have been more present, would have knocked down Parker. We don't know, but I think Malik Scott plays also a role in that. So are we gonna see Deontay Wilder again? I mean, I really hope so. I mean, I've seen Deontay Wilder fighting for 9 years. And whenever a fighter that you kind of grow up with retires, it's always bad. But I mean, people say Father Time is undefeated. And I mean, the big question is, have Father Time defeated Deontay Wilder, or Deontay Wilder defeated himself. I mean, we can look at the previous, we can look at boxing and we see that, we had George Foreman becoming heavyweight champion at 45, guys. When Klitschko stepped in the ring with Anthony Joshua in 2017, he was 41 and he was more in shape than ever. He didn't lose because his body failed. He lost because, he couldn't see that uppercut coming, like something that could have happened to anybody, but he didn't lose because of his body and he didn't lose because of his mind. So my idea is that Deontay Wilder, more than his body, that, of course he's getting older, he has to change training style and stuff like that, he's losing because of his mind. And can he make a surprise comeback? Maybe some match get organized against Anthony Joshua or something. I don't know, but I hope that Deontay Wilder goes out on his feet. In the sense, if you see, Klitschko after the 2017 fight with Anthony Joshua, he say, I'm happy I went down on my feet. I didn't go out, I didn't retire on the canvas. I finished the match standing up, giving my best, and he was stopped by the referee. That's something, a way that, when you look back at your life, you say, okay, that's a very nice way to go out. I'm proud of myself. When Deontay Wilder looks in the mirror and the way we went out with Zheng, such stupid way, just speaking with the referee in the middle of a fight, and then Zheng just throws a punch that you don't see coming. That's a very, very ugly way to go out. So maybe you can think about that and maybe say, okay, let me have a last match when I come back the Deontay Wilder I once was and see what's up. So whatever happens, then you're at peace with yourself. So Deontay Wilder, I hope you come back. I hope you give a one last or two matches when you show the lion that you once were. I don't know if that's possible, but thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!